Oh, do I feel good today? My goodness, I woke up in a great mood because we're getting ready to start a fantastic week. Universe, welcome into Driving the Line or DTL, whatever you want to call us. We are here every single weekday morning live on Stadium and also on our YouTube channel. If you're an OG and you do watch on our YouTube channel, hit that like button on your way in. It really helps the show grow. If you watch us on Stadium, wherever Stadium is, that's where you will find us. Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Roku TV, the Stadium app, watchstadium.com. We have a gigantic hour, but we're coming off an incredibly positive weekend. Shout out to my good friends over at Sabe's Wings. Went up to Wine Country on Saturday, incredible event, but right back on Sunday because the grind never stops. If you stayed up late last night, a 2-hour delay, Sunday Night Football, what a finish. Last 30 seconds, the Cowboys getting it done. And how about the day that our man DG had yesterday, sweeping the board 5-0. I went 2-1 with my straight picks. Oh, the props on Sunday Night Football, though. And it happens, but that's why we have a crew for a reason. A lot of check marks. There are some X's, but that's exactly what we do. Now, we've got a ton to get to, but do not forget every single weekday, we do have a fresh podcast. It drops around 2 p.m. Eastern time. The video for you premium members, you get it every single day as well. And the man behind the curtain that puts it all together with producer man is this man that I'm going to bring in right here. He is our 5-tool player. We call him AB. AB, good morning, man. Big day, big weekend.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. It is big day, big weekend. And look, I mean, sports were great. But, I mean, we've all kind of been waiting on this Miss Doubtfire report from you last night.
Oh,
how'd it
snap.
go?
Even John in the chat says, how was Mrs. Doubtfire? I'm telling you guys right now, I was a bawling mess sitting next to my daughter who I adore. She's my heart and soul. It was amazing. I forgot how great the story was. It was a musical, AB, by the way. It was a musical. And the guy who played Robin Williams sounded just like Mrs. Doubtfire when they switched back and forth. If you guys have it was amazing. I can't say enough good things about it.
I mean, look, I've done some plays like high school wise, right? Like it's hard enough to just remember your lines and do a play normal. And then when you're doing it and it's also a musical, that's pretty tough. Man.
Crazy. And his changes were zip up and zip downs. And I didn't know how he was doing it. It was like he would change in like 15 seconds. It was absolutely bananas. So shout out to Segerstrom. They're the amazing place out there. Thank you for asking, AB. But yeah, daddy-daughter date nights. If you guys have kids and you have daughters, make it a thing. It's the best night of my month. The best night of my month. All right, AB. I was at Sabe's Wings this weekend, and I told the story about having purpose and getting out of bed in the morning about Howie Schwab. And I kind of got choked up, to be honest with you. And I said that every single day here on the show, we remember the legend, and we do. So today, what are the Howie Schwab Crew Play of the Day selections, sir?
This is what we have, sir. You're exactly right. All right. Saints plus 5.5. Chiefs minus 5.5. Saints Chiefs over 43. Saints Chiefs under 43. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show.
You're damn right. Now, it's a Monday. We not only have Monday Night Football, we've got 2 playoff games. The Major League playoffs so far have been out freaking standing. So when you got the best crew in the business, you feel pretty good about what you're doing. So, AB, if you don't mind, I believe it is time for the picks. And today I got 3 of my absolute very best. Let's start down in South Florida. He is the Z-Man. He had a home game this weekend. Should be fresh. Jonathan Zaslow, good morning.
Well, I mean, I should be fresh, but every Sunday I'm subjected to watching torture. It's like being waterboarded every Sunday watching these Miami Dolphins. Now, they ended up winning. And how about this? 1 game out of first place, the Miami Dolphins. That's what I'm talking about.
15-10. Don't forget Monday's mishaps coming up in about 12 minutes or so. Can't wait to hear Z-Man on that. Now, our numbers guy, he never stops going. He never stops cooking. Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. KC Betters, where you at? I want more points on the Saints. Do we see a 6? I can't wait to see how this day is going to go on the betting side of this. That's right, one Monday Night Football game.
I feel like we don't have quite enough. Maybe that's why the sports world has given us two baseball games. And finally, he is the man from the dirty, Big Chuck. Charles, good morning.
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah, big shout out to my man DG on his day yesterday. And happy to see the chalk starting to come back through for the NFL. So we saw some favorites actually cash yesterday.
You're damn right. We'll talk all about the games that happened yesterday at our breaks if you're watching on YouTube. So we have a full 60 minutes. But AB, we got to jump right into it. Tonight, the only undefeated team left in the AFC, my squad, my Kansas City Chiefs. And they're favored by 5.5 at home at the wonderful Arrowhead Stadium. The total sitting on 43. If you want to play the Saints on the money line, it is plus 200. My question, AB, do the Kansas City Chiefs keep it perfect?
They got a shot to do it, and I'll tell you why. All right. Anybody who watched DTL Primetime Live last night, okay, how we broke down the Cowboys and the Steelers. We were pretty spot on in the game script, right, of how each team would need to go. You have exactly the same game tonight. Me and Mims Force One stayed up till 3:30 charting this thing up, and you've got the same approach. The Chiefs, they don't have a run game. They got to manufacture it. The Saints, they want to limit. So we'll talk more, but last night, tonight, very similar.
Very full breakdown after the bottom of the hour as well. Key matchups, quarterback comparisons, all of that coming up in about 30 minutes from right now. If you watched live, I'm glad you brought up DTL Primetime Live because there's a lot of live things we talked about. Dak Prescott going over his passing yards. So you got to watch the shows to hear my guys break it down because you may find a play, Z-Man, that we don't have up on the screen. And tonight, I'll be honest with you, on the Chiefs side of things, all they've done this year is just try to win games. Props, very, very difficult. Your take?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really difficult to tell from a gambling perspective, obviously, but we could also equate it to a fantasy perspective. You know, the Chiefs used to be the kind of team where, hey, start everybody on their offense. You're going to get tons of fantasy points. You know, every guy is viable. And now it's like, I don't know. I don't really know who's going to be viable. You know, without Rashee Rice, okay, can you count on Xavier Worthy? I don't know. Travis Kelce did have his best game of the season last week. He had 7 catches. I think it was 69 yards. Did not reach the end zone. You're obviously still going to go with Kelce from a fantasy perspective. So I think that also means you're probably going to look at him from a prop perspective as well. I think he's the only one that you could try and play tonight and say, hey, maybe last week was a jumping off point.
Speaking of tonight, we will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, DTL Primetime Live, for a full hour breaking down this game live on Stadium and also for you degenerates out there right here on our YouTube channel. By the way, Z, our girl Allie says, I'm listening to Gerard Mayo on Boston Sports Radio this morning, and it sounds like Drake May might finally get the start this week for the Patriots. Apparently, they've seen enough. They have seen enough after losing to your Dolphins yesterday.
Allie, you're a great viewer of DTL. Appreciate you also making sure that I know what Gerard Mayo is saying there. That is well, it's a little bit of a surprise because I'm not necessarily in on playing a rookie quarterback on a team that, I'm watching that game yesterday. The Patriots got nothing. They got nothing. So I don't know that you're helping Drake May at all, throwing him in there only after 5 weeks. But I could have told you about Jacoby Brissett. Like, Jacoby Brissett played here a few years ago. He is terrible. So not surprised that they're thinking of going to May at this point, but I don't like the moves. I don't think you're petting the rookie quarterback in a position to succeed.
Say it for me. Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, he sucks. Come on now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yo. All right, Raphael, big boy, let me come over to you. This number has set on that what I like to call the yuck. 4.5 to 5.5 here on DTL. It's a yucky number. Does this move at all in the next 12 hours or so?
That's a tricky one because normally the Kansas City Chiefs do not cover the spreads. They're 4-0, but they're 3-1 against the spread. But who's Mahomes gonna be throwing the ball to besides Kelce tonight? That's the biggest question mark. It's been Saints money all week. I'm very curious to see if it stays at 5.5 or the books have to move it down to 5 because I know a lot of books right now are heavy on the Saints.
Charles, as we go to the total, big boy, that's kind of like your specialty. What are you seeing?
This could be one of those tricky overs. I could see people really liking the over due to the injury. So this may be one of those tricky overs where we could see some points. But I'm definitely nervous about everybody being on the Saints. This could also be a spot where the Chiefs pull away. So a lot of things concern me about this one. But yeah, we could see a sneaky over in this one.
All right, we got a lot of picks to get to, so we're going to rip through them really quickly. AB, big boy, let's come over to you first for the straight picks. What do you got tonight?
We are starting Saints Chiefs. Both teams have scored 20-plus points, 1 plus 160 here, all right? I do think that you're going to see a very similar game to last night, but you will see more points being scored. Take them. 20-plus points each, plus 160.
I know the Saints want to do it. I just hope my Chiefs can keep up there. Raphael, you got two big plays, one in football, one in baseball. Talk to me.
Yeah, I love that plus 160 AB. Last night's game, the field was just horrendous in the first half. A lot of fumbles, a lot of slips. But I'm going to take the Saints plus 6. I'm buying that half a point, minus 120. I'm going against all my rules about buying a half a point because we all know NFL 5.5 points or higher. The underdog has cashed 19-4-1 against the spread. I cannot go past that. I'm taking the plus points with the Saints. And then give me the Royals team total over 3.5. minus 105. The Kansas City coaches, the Royals team baseball will push some runs across the plate.
Yeah, that game one really hurt. Game two today, full breakdown coming up in about 15 minutes right here on DTL. Now, Z-Man, it's good that we are close. It's good that we are really good friends because this one hurts my heart. Give it to me.
Look, it shouldn't hurt your heart because, Coach, I'm pretty sure if we, use the truth serum on you and asked you, do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going 17-0 this year? Your answer is going to be no because you got the truth serum, so you got to tell the truth. And the Saints, they're going to be the team to tag the Chiefs with that first loss. They're not going undefeated, Kansas City. I like the Saints tonight on the money line, plus 200. I think the Chiefs, offensively, we just went over the weapons there. They're sus. That's what the kids say. They're sus. So I'm going with the Saints money line tonight, winning the game outright, plus 200.
And you are absolutely right. They're not going to go 17-0. You called me out on it, and you got it. Now, let's get over to the props quickly because I have two props. And we're not even going to play the open. This is what we're going to do right here. And I'm going to go next. I absolutely love Kareem Hunt under 42.5. Patrick Mahomes over 235.5. We'll talk about more of that in the bottom of the hour. But, AB, let me come over to you. We got 2.5 minutes. I love a lot of these props. Talk to me with your three, sir.
The Chiefs are going to have to manufacture a run game a la the Dallas Cowboys last night. They're going to do it in the air. They're going to do it with Patrick Mahomes on the ground. Take him over 4.5 rush attempts, minus 115. That number will go up. Patrick Mahomes throwing an interception. He throws one every week. They win, but he throws one every week, and he's facing a tough challenge tonight. Take him for a pick. And then Xavier Worthy, over 3.5 receptions tonight. The key is how to replace the left to right route tree. With Rasheed Rice being out, Xavier Worthy will be that guy, over 3.5 receptions.
You got to tune in tonight, by the way. You got to tune in tonight on Primetime Live to check out the No-Fly Zone with AB. If you've never seen it, it's something that you can't even believe. All right, Big Chuck, coming to you. You got two. Talk to me.
Salvador Perez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He has a 462 lifetime average against Carlos Rodon. 12 hits, 3 RBIs, and 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. I think he's going to get at least 2 at-bats to go ahead and get this one. And Kamara, over 31.5 receiving yards. He's averaging 43 receiving yards per game this year. He's went over 31.5 in 3 straight. I think he's going to be a check down safety blanket for Mr. Carr. So 32 seems like a discount in the spot.
All right, I only got 30 seconds. So, Raphael, I'm coming to you. Then, Z-Man, we'll do yours when we talk baseball in the B's. Talk to me, Raphael.
Justin Watson over 24.5 receiving yards, minus 115. No Rice means more routes, more receptions, more targets. He goes over just like he did last game.
Health. I feel like health is the word that we need to talk about when we're talking about Monday Night Football and also when it comes to baseball as well today. Now, still to come, we're just getting started on a glorious Monday morning. There's so much going on. Hopefully, we can fit it all in 60 minutes. But coming up next, our Monday mishaps. Where is my crew going? They will tell you next. And also, baseball, 2 big games today. It is DTL live on a Monday morning right here on Stadium. All right, for all you degenerates out there, we continue on here on our YouTube page at AB. So many shocking results on Sunday. But early in the day on the NFC side, the Vikings proved that it doesn't have to be pretty. They remain undefeated, the only undefeated NFC team, winning overseas against the Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
Which is incredible because what they're doing, I mean, it's not only above their ceiling. I mean, the floor is the ceiling, according to Michael Jordan. It's nuts. This team, give them all the credit in the world. Coach, staff, the players, everybody. They're doing their job, man. This team is playing well above what we thought they would.
And Z, they did what they needed to do. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. They didn't have to do much. Just get out of their own way.
I mean, what a shocker, that Aaron Rodgers, coming off a major injury in his 40s, who hasn't been an above-average quarterback in 3 years and missed all of last year, and as a coach who went into this year 18-34 in his career and also plays for, by the way, the Jets, one of the worst franchises in all of sports. What a shocker that things aren't going well. Who could have possibly seen that?
Sam Darnold, Big Chuck. Sam Darnold, he is such a good game manager. Who would have thought they would still be 5-0?
Baker Mayfield 2.0. Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for him. But at the same time, the Jets still had a chance to win. Even with all the turnovers, they still had a chance to win. But Mr. Rodgers served it up. So as well as they played, they still left it on the table. But, yeah, you have to be impressed with the Vikings. I know I didn't give them much hope for this season.
None of us did, Raphael, when we did our 24 days to the NFL, did we?
No, even the books had disrespected them as well. But the Jets win Monday night. They're in first place. So don't be bashing over old man Yeller, who Aaron Rodgers looked really, really old yesterday overseas. I don't know because he crossed the pond or whatever. He got older. But, man, he looked old yesterday.
Hey, don't you worry. The Patriots are just saving Joe Milton and that rocket arm for the playoff stretch, boy.
It is amazing how bad that division is. I mean, the Buffalo Bills yesterday, wow, they start 3-0 and now 2 losses in a row. And the way they lost yesterday, not good. But Houston on the other side, now 4-1, doing really well. We are back live on Stadium in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is DTL in the morning on a glorious Monday. Also, if you can't catch us live at 10 a.m., we also air at 4 p.m. Eastern time in the afternoon, getting you set for DTL Primetime Live. You get us 3 times today at 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Now, Z-Man, we didn't get to your baseball plays in the first segment, but I want to do them right now because today we got 2 more big games. The Tigers are favorites. And then the Royals at the Yankees. Royals down 1-0. The Tigers down 1-0. Talk to me on these 2.
Baseball play has been great so far. In the wild card round, you had, the road teams are all advancing. 3 of the 4 road teams won the first 2 games in sweeps. And now yesterday, you saw with the National League, the first 2 games are both splits going to the Underdog Stadium starting tomorrow. Well, today, you got the 2 American League divisional games. So what I'm going with, we don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is no runs in the first inning. I'm going to give you some nerfies. That's right. We're going to go at no runs in the first inning for both games. Tigers, Guardian, -180. And we're also going to go with that nerfie and Yankees and Royals. No runs first inning, -135. That's what we're going to play today, guys.
Z-Man, the only thing that could make that worse is if you walked while you're giving us said nerfies. AB, go.
All right, look, I'll say this. Now, full respect to Z-Man, because obviously, I mean, I'm going to bet all of his plays because that's how I do it with our guys on the show. But I am sitting here staring at a 6 on a total, and there's no way in hell I'm playing it under. So everyone write the word hat in the chat last night. If the over hits in that game, we'll give away a hat to one person. We'll choose it afterward. But there's no way, Coach, that we could sit here and look at a 6 and play the under. No.
I was thinking the exact same thing. And the reason that it's at a 6 is because Skubal in the first series, in the 2 out of 3, was dominant through 6 innings. He got into some trouble. He got out of it. But I don't know, Raphael, and you tell me, I'm putting you on the spot, if I've ever seen an even 6 for a total in a game that I've talked about in my career. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've seen it in a regular season when Kershaw was in his prime, but I haven't seen one in the playoffs. And if I write the word hat and win, can I get a game worn hat, AB?
You can. We'll even sign it for you right under the bill.
Big Chuck, as we look at these two games today, my goodness, the Yankees 6-5 in game number 1. The Royals had a chance. Boy, did they have a chance. But the Tigers, I felt like in their game 1 that their win over the Astros was so emotional that they kind of had a letdown and they didn't have their big stud to start that series off. They've got him today.
That was the ultimate letdown spot. But yeah, Scooble coming in. So that's the ultimate correlation. If you like the Tigers, it kind of correlates with the under. And then look at the first 5. The first 5 is under 3. So that's even crazier. So excuse me, I can't recall seeing a 6 either. So yeah, if you like the Tigers, that kind of, like I said, it correlates with the under. So they're expecting maybe a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 type of game.
Should be quick. I don't even know if the game will still be going on when we go live on the air at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. And by the way, Guzzle Money, if you want to get to my heart, he says, why say no when it feels so good to say yes? No, we don't say nerfy here. And that's why Z-Man knows that when he said it, it drives me in freaking sane. But that's okay, because there's a lot of other things that drove us insane this weekend. It's time for Monday's mishaps. This is where my guys pick out one thing that absolutely drove them crazy. So, AB, as always, big boy, let's start with you.
Kalen DeBoer, Josh Heupel. When you approach life afraid, you know what happens? You manifest what you're scared of. And that's exactly what happened to them this weekend. Alabama against Vanderbilt and Tennessee against Arkansas. These are two teams that both of you should have handled very easily. And what did you do? You approached the games not wanting to do too much. All right, Heupel, you did it against Oklahoma. We gave you the benefit of the doubt. All right, your team is built on offense. Alabama, your team is built on offense. Set the tone. Stop playing afraid. Coaches in all sports love to put up messages all over the elevator and the locker room, no fear, but play to win one day at a time. And then they do the complete opposite. And that's what happens. You lose, and both of you deserved to lose. So shout out to Vandy. All right, who you with, VU, and all them Hogs fans out there calling the Hogs. Woo, big Stewie.
They're up 14-3, by the way. Wasn't Tennessee up 14-3 and then didn't score again?
Yep.
Wow. Man, maybe the quarterback from Vanderbilt, maybe the best post-game interview. We're turned. Oh, my God. That
amazing. Man hasn't gone to sleep yet.
The fans are still trying to take the damn goalpost and walk it 8 miles down to downtown.
They took it all the way down Broadway, then threw it in the Cumberland River.
Bananas. All right. Now, my man Z, every single Saturday, he's got the best college football show in the business, and he does it from like an Airstream. It's so freaking cool. So I know that you've got a Monday mishap either from Saturday or from Sunday. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, the Miami Hurricanes, now the number 6 ranked Miami Hurricanes, they survive for the second week in a row. They win at Cal, an absolute thriller in the fourth quarter. The Canes were down 25 in the second half at huge ACC rival California. The Canes wind up coming back. They win the game 39-38. Cam Ward's incredible, but here's the mishap, all right? Because you have such a huge ACC rivalry between Miami, which is actually on the Atlantic coast, and California, which is as far as can possibly be from the Atlantic coast. It's a 10:30 p.m. Eastern time game. I can't be staying up until 2 a.m. for an in-conference game. I fell asleep. I get tired, guys. I fell asleep in the middle of the third quarter. Canes were down 25 at that point, but I hit the record button, guys. And then I woke up the next morning, and me and my 12-year-old, we sat on the couch. We did not know what happened because I don't play that game. We sat on the couch, and I'm sitting there drinking my coffee saying, I can't believe I'm spending time here on Sunday morning watching a game that Canes are getting killed. Thank God I did. Obviously, my Sunday morning got off on the right note. But AC's an in-conference game, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Come on.
I did the same thing, and 39-38 was the final. And I was out here on the West Coast, and it was still too late for me. I didn't even know they won until I went and looked at the top 10 upsets. I said, man, they made a mistake here. Where's Miami? And then Miami wins. By the way, my man Chicago says, I don't need coffee in the morning. I just need a little bit of Zaslow in the morning. You're damn right. Now, let me come over to you, Big Chuck. What's your Monday mishap today?
Take me to that Ravens-Bengals game. The Bengals coaching staff up 10 several times in the fourth quarter. Then they're up 3, driving with like 3 minutes left. And what do? They could kick a field goal, go up by 6, force the Ravens to have to score a touchdown to beat them. But no, they're still throwing the ball, throw an interception. They allow the Ravens to tie it. We go to overtime. They get the ball back. What do? Instead of trying to get closer, they play for a 52-yard field goal like it's just a chip shot. What happens? The holder, you know what the holder does, and they end up losing. So the coaching staff from the Bengals, I mean, just make it easy on your players, simplify it, put yourself in the best positions to win. It's really frustrating, these coaches nowadays.
1 and 4. That was such a brutal display of play calling. A 53-yard field goal, just because every kicker in the league can make them now, does not mean that it's a chip shot. And that's how they played it. And they lose 41-38, a combined 9 touchdowns in that game between the Ravens and the Bengals. All right, Raphael, big boy, what do you got?
It was hard for me to pick one. I just added one. How can Z-Man say record and not get bashed in the chat? I say record and I get crucified last week. But I was going to either talk about the Bills clock management. No. I was either going to talk about Drew McIntyre getting 17 staples in his head. No. I'm going to talk about you, UFC referee. How could you let Khalil Roundtree get beat up so bad, blood everywhere, and not stop the fight? I was screaming at my TV like I was Rocky Balboa holding the towel from Rocky 3, trying to throw the towel before Apollo Creed dies. Stop the fight. He was a bloody mess. He wasn't doing anything. Come on, UFC. Stop the fight. Be better. That guy was done.
Yeah, his right eye was absolutely insanely ugly at the end of that. And by the way, Raphael, you're never going to win on that argument. As they say in the chat, DVR and VHS, 2 completely different worlds that we are talking about.
I use both.
All right, my Monday mishap is going to go straight to the nation's capital. And I'm not going to keep hyping up the Commanders. I'm not going to keep hyping up Jaden Daniels. I'm going to the Browns because sometimes when you have a lot of money, you make a lot of mistakes. And the Browns yesterday, at one point with about 3 minutes to go in the first half, Deshaun Watson had 37 yards of passing. They're still going to owe him $150 million and very well could take a quarterback with their number 1 pick next year. This is the biggest mishap maybe in the history of the NFL. The Browns are absolutely terrible. And the fact that they guaranteed this guy after everything that went on, $230 million, and this is how he plays. He can't even throw a dump-off pass. I mean, they're that bad. They gave up 34 yesterday to the Commanders. This is the biggest mishap I've ever seen. And if you're a Browns fan, I am sorry. But this is not going to get any better before it gets any worse. AB, your thoughts?
It's horrible, man. Look, I'm telling you, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, I've said this for years, all right? He used to be the guy and the money man in charge of Tennessee football for 20 years. His brother was the governor, all right? His dad played at Tennessee. I know this family better than almost anybody. He's a disaster. The minute he left, every single sport in the University of Tennessee became a top 10 program. The day he left and bought the Cleveland Browns. Good riddance.
I got 45 seconds. Z-Man, why do a lot of these guys continue to get opportunities when there's a lot of good, smart men and women out there that could run some of these franchises?
Well, because that part I don't know. I thought you were going to say, why do you get an opportunity when you're a guy like Deshaun Watson and do the things that he did off the field? But I think it's important to point out, if they try and get rid of Deshaun Watson, if they try and find the clause in the contract to get out of it, it's not because he's a dirtbag. It's because he's not good at football. And that just makes the Browns look like even bigger, an even bigger loser franchise. I think it speaks a lot to them.
I could not say that any better. I mean, this is, and the tough part is, no matter how much money they lose in the Deshaun Watson, they're going to continue to make money because every franchise in the NFL makes money. That's how it's set up. So they could suck for the next 20 years. They're still going to make money no matter what. All right, good money mishaps, guys. Very well done. Still to come here on the show, we are crossing the bottom of the hour. Full breakdown of Monday Night Football. Can the Kansas City Chiefs keep it perfect? It's DTL live on Stadium on a Monday morning. We continue on here with all of you OGs and you degenerates out there on our YouTube page. Let me come over to you, AB, now, because there were so many different things that happened. A lot of late things happened yesterday. But if you're in the NFC and you're the 49ers and you're getting your mojo back, how do you give up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and lose 24-23 to the Fighting Kyler Murray's?
That's the question. And look, it's your defense that's giving this up. That shouldn't be the problem, right? Like your injuries, I get it, but a lot of them have been offensively. I can understand all that, but you're built from the defense out. What is happening out there? Now, a lot of parity in the league, but yeah, man, it's not good. That team's built to close games out.
No doubt. Speaking of closing games out, Z, man, the Bills got the ball back. Tie ball game. Let's just get it to overtime. They run 3 straight plays, can't even make it down. And then, because Houston had their timeouts, they get the ball and they kick a 59-yarder to win, and the Bills lose 2 straight.
I'll tell you, I had to do a double take when I saw the final numbers and saw that Josh Allen was 9 for 30 in the game. Like, that's not a professional quarterback, but we know Josh Allen's an elite quarterback. 9 for 30. Now, he suffered what they believe now is a concussion in the middle of the game, and we actually saw the play. He was out cold. Face down on the grass. They evaluated him and then let him go back in the game. As someone who is down here in South Florida, and I see what's going on with Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins, if I could just point out, if that were the Dolphins yesterday, the media and fans allowing their quarterback to go back in the game, because guess what? We've seen it before. If that was the Dolphins yesterday, the league, fans, media would be calling for the Dolphins to be relegated. All right. Is anyone calling the Buffalo Bills should be kicked out of the league for allowing Josh Allen to go back in the game? The obvious answer is no, but it's just odd to me that when it comes to the Dolphins and when it comes to Tua, the reaction is so different. I don't get it.
It really is that way. I saw a lot of that with bad blood too. It seems like it's something specific to the media. We are back live on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, we have crossed the bottom of the hour. What a good day so far. A lot of great content, a lot of good picks. When you come to DTL, if you're new to our brand, first of all, great live numbers so far. So thank you for that. We're not just a pick show. This is about information. It's about making you a smarter sports fan, a smarter sports bettor. And AB, tonight, there's a big-time Monday night game. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the 2-time defending, Super Bowl champions. They're trying to do something that's never been done before. And we thought last year was Patrick Mahomes' best effort at just dragging that team up the hill because a lot of his weapons weren't catching the football, and then they would get hurt. The same thing is happening again. Rashee Rice placed on the IR this week. He's going to be out, torn ACL, for the entire season. Xavier Worthy, as a rookie, I don't know what he can do as the number 1 guy, but the books still believe that tonight they should improve to 5-0. They're laying 5.5. The total is sitting at 43. Have the Chiefs impressed you, even though every game's been really ugly to watch?
Absolutely. Look, I don't need style points from them. I don't need blowout. I don't need anything. All right. The Chiefs just win games, right? That's what they do, and they're continuing to do it. Now, tonight's going to be a big battle, but here's the other thing. The Saints, all right, there's no Taysom Hill, and they need Taysom Hill because their game plan is you have to limit how many pass attempts Derek Carr has. If you get him in that 20 to 25 range, that's where he's good. Optimal, all right? Once you go above 25, he starts throwing picks and it gets wild. So the Saints are going to need to run the football and kind of keep it out of his hands and Mahomes' hands tonight. Just the thought of the Chiefs on the other side puts fear in other teams because they've seen what 15 can do.
There is no question about it. And his rush attempts, we're already on that. We've nailed that a couple of times this year because AB tells you all the time, those 3 rush attempts at the end, keep an eye on that tonight at Arrowhead, and certainly a part of the no-fly zone. John in the chat says, Coach, is that confirmed about Rice? You guys all know I've got an inside source inside the Chiefs organization. And even though they've spent all week because they're trying to wait for the swelling to come down, but on the IR, he's out for a certain period of time. He's not coming back. That knee is absolutely shredded, and I think it's going to be worse than what we think it's going to be. Now, Z, as we come over to you, there's been a lot of discussion about Travis Kelce and the fact that he really started out of the gate very, very slowly. He had a big game last week, but now from the tight end position, he's got to step up, and they obviously were trying to get him the ball last week. They've got to do it again tonight.
Yeah, I'm not real confident. If you're looking from a fantasy perspective or you're looking from a prop perspective, I'm not confident in Travis Kelce. He did have his best game of the season last week, but here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes explained before last week's game, part of the reason that Kelce has not been putting out the production that we're used to is defenses are honing in on him. Okay, well, I'm pretty certain defenses have been honing in on him for the last 10 years, all right? And he's still been able to put up great production. Well, now, not only are defenses honing in on him, but he's also been in the league for so long that he's in his mid-30s and he's starting to show age. But also now, without Rashee Rice, that's another weapon that defenses don't have to pay as close attention to, drawing even more attention on Travis Kelce. So, yeah, best game of the season production-wise last week from the tight end, but I would not rely on him going forward, starting with tonight.
And also storyline 2B, and I know we joke about it a lot. I know we talk about it a lot, but you know who has missed 2 games in a row hanging out with friends. And last week, the game was in L.A. She's got a house in L.A., and she wasn't there. Will she be in the house tonight? Some people in the chat are saying that it's been reported that she will be there. We'll see. I don't know. Now, Raphael, let me come over to you. Let's flip the script, and let's go to the other side, because 91 points in the first 2 games. And the Saints, when they were in Dallas, I remember you and I talked about it, plus 1,200 to, I believe, win the NFC or the Super Bowl. We're like, how about? And now they've come back down to earth. Which Saints team is the real Saints team?
I think the Saints team we saw games 1 and 2 when they were healthy. Now, ever since Hill's been either questionable or out with his rib injury, they've been a totally different team. And so I'm skeptic on on why this point won't drop tonight. I swear it'd be 5.5 or 5. But if you still like the plus points, there's value. That's why I think a lot of people are betting the Saints. I think if they can keep this game close and keep it an under type game, then I think they can hang around and maybe cover the spread. Kansas City Chiefs are 1-4 against the spread their last 5 Monday Night Football games. So yeah, they're winning games on Monday night, but they're not covering games on Monday night.
They're one of the worst games at cover, or worst teams at covering at all. Shout out to Ringside with What a Day Joe. He says Taylor Swift will be in attendance tonight. Now, Big Chuck, I saved you till the end for a reason. You live in this part of the country. This is your squad. And when you have the local coverage, just like we do with Z-Man in Miami, it's way different than the national coverage. What are they saying locally about this Saints team?
It's like we said, pump your brakes. Don't get too many expectations of when they started out 2-0 and blowing everyone out. We knew that there was a possibility of them coming back down to earth. And Taysom Hill is huge. He's really the X factor in those short yards situations. So yeah, everyone tried to keep it low key. Don't get too ahead of ourselves. Saints have usually start slow. But we don't get too optimistic. We kind of try to stay level headed around these parts when it comes to the Saints, because we know at any time, the roof could fall out.
AB, we've got an issue in the chat.
What up?
Because clearly Vince, shout out to Vince, he doesn't watch a lot of DTL because he says, I come for the sports. I don't come for celebrity gossip.
Hey.
Well, he won't like the food content. He won't like we entertain and educate better than anybody.
I tell you what, Vince, you know what? My man, I got something for you, and I got something for everybody, because here's the question for tonight. Okay, the Chiefs have to manufacture a run game and replace Rashee Rice. And we all want to make some damn money. On BetMGM, they have Travis Kelce over half a rushing yard at plus 650. Do we take that tonight?
Wow. What
Yes.
would it take? An end around? An end around? Because
he has a carry this year. Travis Kelce has a carry this year, and they need it any way possible. And if there's any team that's creative offensively, it's the Chiefs, especially in the red zone.
All right, maybe we'll sprinkle on that. We'll talk about that tonight on Primetime Live. By the way, Ringside says, this show is addicting. I love the content. Damn it, that's what we're trying to do. Bring everybody in. Kids, women, men, adults, 21-year-olds, everybody. So, Z, let me come over to you. Because as Charles said, we pumped the brakes. And it seems like every single week in the NFL is a season. It seems like a lifetime ago that the Saints walloped the Dallas Cowboys and scored 44 points. But now they also need to get right. And Raphael said it, the Chiefs simply don't cover. So is there another way to play this if we don't know which way to go?
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's going to be as high scoring as some people think it is. You know, I think there could be a little more value on playing the under here. I know we don't want to play unders. I know we don't want to watch Monday Night Football and hope for nothing to happen. But I could see a scenario where this Chiefs offense just isn't so in sync tonight after losing Rashee Rice. You know, they haven't been the top offense that they were, you know, in past years in a while now. So I think playing something along, not maybe the under for the game, but something along the lines of maybe props and going under on those individual players, I think could be a way to go. I don't think this is a high-scoring game tonight.
I was actually looking at the total too. I really, really was. And I'm also on Kareem Hunt, Raphael, because and I'm fading him. I was shocked that his number's in the 40s. And I feel like the books, and you tell me because this is your world, I feel like sometimes you got to put at least one running back. Last night, if you watched Primetime Live, I said fade Najee Harris, and he was in the 40s. His number was in the 60s. I was correct that sometimes they got to put at least one guy in the 40s just to say they have one there. Kareem Hunt's been back for one game. He can't possibly be out on the field enough to even get to 43 yards. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And tonight, Zaslow is correct. The total has been dropped. It's moved 3 points since open. It opened at 46, and it's 40, pretty much a solid 43 right now. This game will have side action and prop action. I don't see that much action on the total because that Chiefs defense and who's playing for the Saints on offense. So I think the total will stay put, but I think this game is going to be side action and prop action.
Would you like
Side
a stat
action
on the total like you're just talking about? All right. The Saints defense, you know what? They've given up one passing touchdown this year. One. All right. The Chiefs defense has only given up 2 rushing touchdowns this year.
You've had more good stats this weekend than I could ever remember. I mean, you've been all over this stuff.
He was on fire last night.
AB was on fire last night. I mean, you got to watch these shows live because if you just look at the pick screen, you're going to miss out on so much. That's why I say hashtag it pays to watch live. Now, we got Vince back on our side now. He says, nothing wrong with a good under, like Z-Man said. Some of you just aren't sicko enough. And, Vince, I'm one of those that's not sicko enough. I'm not sicko enough. But, Big Chuck, coming over to you, you're kind of our live bet guy. When we do DTL After Dark, man, you nailed those. Do you think, in your opinion, and at what point would this be a good live betting opportunity?
I think if the Saints go up, I would look to go just like last week with the Chefs and the Chargers. They went down 10-0, see what happens. I would love that opportunity. That way it would be a great middle opportunity. And then if they score early, I would come back and look at maybe taking the under because I'm right there. It could be a sneaky over, but I could see this one staying below that 43. So if we see early points, because in the first quarter, we've been seeing those points and then it slows down. So I could also come back and look at that. And then also look at Xavier Worthy. He's only 2.5 rushing yards. I could definitely see him doing a sweep around to manufacture some rushing yards in this Chiefs offense.
Sorry, Charles. You like that, AB, what Charles is talking about?
I love it. I'm telling you, Xavier Worthy can do it all. And I'll also say this. Everyone that's betting, when you're doing your homework today, right before the game tonight, I want you to take a look at the Saints rushing attack in the second half. All right? Jamal Williams. His numbers will be low, and he gets a lot of reps in the second half because Alvin Kamara gets a lot of reps in the first. Jamal Williams could be a steal in props tonight.
And he has also been hurt. Alvin Kamara, a lot of teams are starting to call plays this way. I think you're spot on, AB, is they're saying, listen, I need my stars to make it to the end of the season. So I've got to dial it back just a little bit, just get in and get out. And the way the Chiefs have been fighting injuries, they definitely have been calling plays that way. Just get to the finish line. That's all we need to do. Now, there's a lot of you, because I see the live numbers just continues to go up and up and up and up, that weren't here at 10 a.m. We've got the whip around coming up. It's DTL Live on Stadium. We continue on, all you degenerates out there on our YouTube channel. And I got to tell you, we only hit on it very, very quickly. And Z, I'll start with you. But the Cowboys last night, we talked about them needing a victory. Do you think that getting the win with 30 seconds to go, an 8-minute drive to end the game the way they did it, how much will that help their confidence?
Well, first I'll tell you, the Cowboys are probably the only team in the NFL that could win a game on a drive late, get a game they had to have. Dak Prescott puts up huge numbers, but the story ends up being CeeDee Lamb is chewing out Dak Prescott on the sideline, where Dak Prescott has his head down and staring at the ground and doesn't even look up. And that becomes the story. I don't think it's necessarily fair. That is the world that the Cowboys live in. I'm a lot higher on the Cowboys than people think. I mean, they're 3-2 now. They're in a division which is a little bit chaotic. I mean, the Commanders obviously look phenomenal. Is that going to hold up the entire season? I don't know. Jaden Daniels looks incredible, but we've only seen 5 games from him. The Giants have won 2 more games than I think people have expected them to win at this point in the season. And I have no idea what kind of team the Eagles are. So I think the Cowboys are totally in this thing at 3-2, but I'm also a little bit higher on the Cowboys than most people have been.
2 straight games, AB, 20 points each game. Good or bad in your opinion?
Say that again one more time.
20 points, 2 games in a row against the Giants, and now they win against the Steelers also, scoring exactly the same number of points. Is that good or bad that they only get to 20?
It's good in a sense, because if you're planning it that way and you're saying, look, we want to keep our defense off the field and we're trying to create time of possession because we don't have a run game, totally with it. If that's the plan, they're doing a hell of a job because you're limiting your potential mistakes. So results are results. I'm with it. It's a good plan.
I got 10 seconds, Big Chuck. Good or bad?
Hey, win is a win. As long as you're winning, it really doesn't matter. They're not going to go back and look at that once the season's over.
Okay. Robbie says Dak threw it low. He got picked. He was saying throw it higher. Z-Man's right. Sometimes it's unfair. You don't know what's being talked about. We are back on Stadium in 5 seconds. We are back on Stadium. Man, does this hour just fly by? If you didn't catch the whole thing live, don't even worry about it. We are back at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Stadium, and then tonight live at 7 p.m. Eastern time with the best crew in the business on DTL Primetime Live. Wherever Stadium is, you will find us. WatchStadium.com, the Stadium app. How about Amazon Prime? I got all these 5 beautiful faces right to my left on my big screen. YouTube TV, Roku TV. We are taking over the world. Now, AB, before we get to the whip around, there's a couple of things we haven't even talked about from yesterday. How about the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, over 300 yards. DJ Moore, big time, 2 touchdowns. Was this the coming out party that the Bears needed? 36-10, wiping the floor with Andy Dalton and the Panthers.
Yeah, some people are going to say, it's the Panthers, whatever. But you know what? It's the NFL. Welcome to it, all right? The Giants just went and whooped up on the Seahawks on the road. Getting better is getting better, and they're doing that. So shout out to them. Yep, I like it.
Other places, Z, when I look at Las Vegas, and there's a lot of teams out there that need a wide receiver. It affects props. It affects straight plays. It affects everything when you're talking about an all-pro like Devante Adams. And the Raiders were up 10-0. Broncos, they were one of my best bets. They then scored 34 straight points to win their 3rd game in a row. And now in the AFC West, Bo Nix and the Broncos are a player. Is Devante shipped out today or tomorrow?
Well, first of all, the Raiders suck. Antonio Pierce as your head coach is a joke. I'm sorry. You know, anyone's going to look good last year filling in after Josh McDaniels gets fired. But Antonio Pierce is a joke. Now, putting that aside, I think the perfect land. Devante Adams is never going to play for the Raiders again. Is he traded this week? Probably, but he's never playing for the Raiders again. I think Washington's the spot. I really do. I think Washington, they have a window now. They have a window to win the NFC East. And then looking past this year, when you have a quarterback who plays well beyond the value of his current contract, which is a rookie scale deal that Jaden Daniels is on, strike while the iron's hot, get as much talent as you can, put around him, spend in other places. If I'm Washington, I'm doing what it takes to get Devante Adams.
If they get Devante Adams, Raphael, they will instantly, in my opinion, become, I'm going to say it right here, right now, the NFC favorite to go to the Super Bowl this season. Tell me I'm crazy.
I don't know about the Super Bowl, but I would say division, it looks really good. Yesterday, when I said, keep an eye out for the Saints game, the Steelers game, the Jets game. If they lose, are they going to be out of the Devante Adams sweepstakes? Because now maybe they're not looking forward for a playoff run. Washington, plus 850 to land Devante Adams. Right now, 3-1. The Jets are still the favorites, but money has continued to come in on the Washington Magics. I think that's the greatest spot for him to land.
Can I just say real quick? I'll just say real quick. I know the Jets have been the flashy team to acquire Devante Adams. What from the Jets and Aaron Rodgers have you seen which would make you believe that adding Devante Adams is actually going to make a difference?
It's a great point. It's a great point. They're not very good. And their wins have not been good wins. They beat the Titans, and then I can't even remember the other win. But I don't know. You're absolutely – I think that's part of the discussion that we don't go into.
Could somebody tell me – yeah, no, sorry. Could somebody tell me who Devante Adams' quarterback in college was?
It was Derek
Carr.
Who dat?
Do you think what's the Saints on?
Oh, it was also his quarterback in Vegas.
In Vegas,
right?
So they shipped him out. Yeah, they shipped him out.
He's 325, but if the Saints lose tonight and lose another game, I mean, what's the point of getting their need to keep their draft picks because their defense is very, very old. If they lose tonight, the Saints do not give up draft picks for a wide receiver.
Hey, you just got to give a PF Chang's deal, man. Just get him some food over at the PF Chang's.
God, I love PF Chang's, by the way. I love PF Chang's. All right, great discussion. We can do NFL all day, all night. By the way, there is football every single day until the end of November. So we're going to have college football picks on tomorrow's show live on Stadium. But there's a lot of you that weren't here at the top of the show, and that's okay. We got you covered in a little something we like to call the whip around. All right, this is the part of the show we give you like one or two nuggets on every single play, about 10 or 15 seconds to get you through everything. And as a reminder, we repeat at 4 p.m. Eastern this afternoon. AB, big boy, let's start with you.
Saints, Chiefs, both teams score 20-plus points tonight, plus 160. I think you're going to see both of them realize that, you know what? All right, when in doubt, throw a damn 9 route, and that's how you put points on the board. I'm going to take them both tonight. I don't know who wins, but I'll take the points.
When we don't know who wins, I love this play. I absolutely love this play. Just get to 20. That's all we need. All right, Raphael, let me come over to you. You got a baseball and a football play straight.
Yeah, but I need to apologize first. I actually did a prop bet during the show. What will have more, total runs scored in the Tigers-Guardians game or total field goals, kicking points in the first half of tonight's Monday Night Football game? So I'm going to take the Saints plus 6, minus 120, and I'm going to take the Royals team total over 3.5, minus 105. I think the Yankees game is going to have a lot of runs.
Is that a real play, or are you just throwing that out there?
No, when I'm done with the show, I'll send it to all the sports books, and I think the books will pick this up because this is kind of a fun game to do.
Does any other show out there have a guy that actually makes lines on their crew? I'll wait. The answer is no. That's why we continue to climb every single freaking day. Thank you, Raphael. Now, Z-Man, let me come over to you. You like the Saints just to get it done tonight? You don't need the points.
I don't need the points. You keep them. Do something else with them. The Chiefs aren't going to go undefeated this year. I think they're ripe for a loss tonight. The Saints, of course, have lost back-to-back games. They need to win terribly bad. Let's get nuts. Saints money line, plus 200.
All right, let's flip over now to our prop section of the show. And Big Chuck, let me come to you because right there you've got two plays. And I love that you went baseball and also football. You're up.
Yeah, your boy Salvador, he has owned Rodon, 462 lifetime batting average. I think he's going to get at least 2, maybe 3 at bats, over 1.5 runs, hits, and RBIs. And then Alvin Kamara, he's averaging 43 receiving yards on the season. He's went over 31.5 in 3 straight. Think he's going to be a nice little check down security blanket for Cards. So, yeah, give me over 31.5 receiving yards, Alvin Kamara.
AB, let me come back over to you. 3 big plays, all on the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes throwing a pick tonight. Take that. Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rush attempts. Take that. And Xavier Worthy over 3.5 receptions. He is going to be a huge part of the game.
Boom and boom. Worthy's got to step up. Z-Man, talk to me.
All right, I'm going to mix in some baseball for you today to keep an eye on. And we don't want to take unders super boring. So you know what? I'm going to get you some of that nerfy action. Tigers, Guardians, no runs first inning, minus 180. Royals, Yankees, no run first inning, minus 135.
There's a lot of people in the chat that are backing you up because you know it drives me insane. Raphael, let's go.
Coach, do you hate nerfies or unders? That's a great poll. But I'm going to take Justin Watson over 24.5 receiving yards, minus 3 nickels. He hit this prop his last game. No Rice means he's going to be in the field running more routes, more targets, more receptions. We cash this prop. Give me 24.5, minus 3 nickels.
All right, we got 1 minute left. AB, kind of give me a little tease on what we got tonight for the no-fly zone.
What we have going tonight is going to be how the Saints actually don't want Derek Carr throwing all that much. And the Chiefs, 15, save us again, dog. Let's go.
Z, I got 30 seconds. Are you on ESPN tonight?
I am. I'm hosting Game Night tonight on ESPN Radio. So that's, it's supposed to be 10 p.m. Eastern time to 1 a.m., but we're coming on right after the baseball. So it could be closer to 11-ish, and we'll have all your Monday Night Football recap.
You got it. Listen to ESPN Radio. I do it all the time. AM 830 out here in Southern California. That's how you get it done. Our crew is everywhere working 24/7. And finally, a reminder tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We are live on Stadium, and we count down a full hour of Monday Night Football. Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, the Saints, and the Chiefs. Tune in live. Turn on your notifications. You don't want to miss it. So in the meantime, what a great show today. There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Peggy, that's for you. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Brian Tyker, Lamo, Z-Man, Big Chuck, Raphael, my partner AB, producer man on vacation. We don't need you. I am the coach. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single morning. DTL live on Stadium. Good luck.